Hi everyone. Um, Self-love is a real theme at the moment. And what arises inside of me is flashbacks of my life. I have been, for most of my life, shamed and judged for me being too sensitive, too direct, too honest, too fragile, too difficult. And when you start hearing these things over and over again, you actually at one point start believing them, you know. As an empath, I have been always very transparent. I'm a lot like the canary in the mines, you know, the canary that they used to take into the mines for as an alarm when the oxygen when they ran out of oxygen. The canary was the first one to die because he would sense it the first. And that was and still is me. I sense the aura in every room. I sense the energy, and I never have been able to mask that. And that made sometimes for uncomfortable situations during Christmas or uh, um, birthdays with family, or gatherings with friends. And it would make some people very uncomfortable. In my family, where there was a lot of friction, I got severely judged by just being myself, because it was simply too confronting to see what I was reflecting, I guess. So I started working so hard to not be me. Um, there has been a lots of years where I would be so far away from my essence, because deep down I had just absorbed all the shame and judgment, and me being difficult. I internalized every single thing. I at one point truly believed I wasn't worth loving just the way I am. And in a way, I still, it makes me sad, I still believe that, because my boundaries are so much different than most people, you know. I am not someone who will socialize for a very long time. I would like to do that an hour, maybe tops 2 hours, and then I really need to go back into my own bubble, or be with myself in nature, or go do things on my own. I'm in that way very independent, and I need that time and space to connect deeper again. You know what I mean? Deeper again, in a sense, like when I'm in conversation with people, there is I need to shut off a bit my connection, my universal connection, because not a lot of people have that connection. So there is a part of leveling. I haven't met them a lot, but there are some people that I've met. I flow, and I don't need to level, and so I can be longer in contact with them, because if you resonate on the same frequency with me, I could be longer. But besides that, even if I would resonate completely with another person, I am someone who needs a lot of time with myself, not only to just be in silence, but just to dream, to just to be, not having to how do you say that? Constantly feel other people's vibes, because if some even if I don't talk to a person and he would be in the same house as I am, I still get constant input. So for me, a lot of things also, having a relationship, I do that apparently different than most people do. There are lots of nights where in a relationship I needed to sleep alone so I could recharge, so I could be completely loose from any input. So, because if I would sleep a few nights after another together with someone, at one point I would become completely exhausted, because some way or another I'm not getting as deep as a reset when I'm sleeping, when somebody is laying next to me, as when I'm sleeping alone. And these things I have been not kind to myself about, because there were also in some relationship judgments about that. Not all of them, but some relationships, it made some partners really insecure. And so I started, I started neglecting my own needs, also in relationships. And it hurts, I feel it very deeply today. I don't know if you can see it, just my whole chest is burning. It's just wants to come out. My heart is showing me how much I have sold myself out. I did myself short. And all these convictions that I created in my mind by the moments I was shamed for being sensitive, or feeling other people, and other people didn't want me to feel what was going on inside of them. Um, um, the silence that I needed. I can be perfectly silent and having a great time in connection with people, but it made other people very uncomfortable, and they would find me weird. And so if you hear these things over and over again, at one point you start actually believing these things. And this time frame is so much about self-love, and it's just bringing back the times that I didn't stay true to myself, didn't love Bo, didn't love just how I am in my purest form. Also social gatherings, birthdays, and at one point I just didn't want to go anymore the last couple of years, because it would simply drain me too much. And now I'm coming at the point where the people who I have around me, they just let me be. And of course it's how I see myself. It's a reflection of what shows in the outer world. So some years back, I had people who found something of that when I said, "Oh, I will not come to your birthday. I will come another day." They were disappointed, or they didn't understand it, because I wasn't fully accepting me for who I am. I had even a judgment about me not going to a birthday, or knowing that at New Year's Eve, seldomly I could make it till 12 o'clock at night, because I'm not an evening person. I'm very much a morning person. So it's not what nurtures me. If it would be up to me, I would just go to bed at 10 o'clock, yeah, like I usually do. And but lots of times I pushed my own boundaries away, and because there was often so much judgment. And I know at these times I had these kind of people in my life, because I became so hard on myself, because who I was, who I am, I'm still like that. And what I saw in society, and with a lot of people, there was such a big gap between that I thought there must be something wrong with me. I need to work harder. I need to don't be such a soft egg, just push through, work harder. I was my most strict dictator. I was a dictator for myself. I became a dictator to myself, because if I didn't do that, I couldn't be in the matrix. I couldn't be amongst people. So I became so harsh and strict on myself, until what age I was, I think around 26, 27. My nervous system was completely fried, and it already started way earlier, around me being 14, 15 years old. I would go from burnout to burnout. I would have a few years, and then I would crash, and then and the crashes came shorter after each other. But I was so stubborn, and I was so focused on making it in society, that I didn't even ask myself, does this fit me? Is this who I am? What do I need? Because I simply have never been asked, Bo, what do you need? Bo, how do you feel? And I'm already a few years further now, and I made some big steps. I made huge steps. I'm honoring my essence more and more each day, especially towards my surroundings. I become very loving and healthy at that. But I think the thing that is being felt right now is that I'm at the point, forgiving others is more easy than forgiving myself. And that's the sadness that I feel. I need to stop judging the mistakes that I made in life, and start forgiving myself for needing to do the things I did to survive. Start being so harsh on myself, and why didn't I see this earlier? Why didn't I let go of this then and then and then? That strictness that I internalized is there, and I feel it's becoming heavier and heavier on my chest. It wants to be released. It's played out. Yeah, I guess this is what I wanted to share with you guys today. I'm curious about what shows up for you in this time frame if it comes to self-love, because this is so profound at the moment. Our heart is opening in an accelerated pace at the moment. It's huge. The energies have been skyrocketing. Um, hydrate, because our body needs a lot of water to integrate these energies in a more gentle way. Um, Also, a lot of planets are going retrograde at the moment. So we are really in an inward mode at the moment. So a lot of these themes show up, and take time in silence to let them show up, because if you constantly distract yourself, you cannot hear what silence or the universe or God has to tell you, wants to make you see in order for you to ascend. I leave you guys with this, and talk to you next time.